Good evening, this is BelGeode, and we are back with some more Microsoft Flight Simulator X Steam Edition with the Texan 2. And we're in the middle of our Jamaican tour. So the Jamaican tour is being designed as both another excuse for me to fly this aircraft and also for me to show off freeware and payware that I've downloaded to basically upgrade Jamaica. The airport that we're at was made by Chris Z. He made a number of airports. The links to all of them should be below in the video description, as well as links to some of the other items that I'm going to be using that are payware. For example, FSFX packages Chaseplane, which I'm using to pan around the aircraft right now, and FSFX packages PrecipitFX, which is giving us the awesome rain effects. Alright, but we're about to begin leg number 2. We are here at Ian Fleming International Airport, formerly known as Boscobel Airport. And we're going to be flying today from Boscobel to Ken Jones, which is a little bit further east on the island, and then we'll be heading south past the Blue Mountain Ridge to Kingston, and we're going to stop at the 2 airports there. Okay, so now that we are on board, let's go ahead and get everything set up to go. So oxygen, we can turn you back on. Canopy, we can close you and lock you. There we go. Everything else should be pretty much set up. I do have the probe heat on. That's the pitot ice, or the pitot heat, excuse me, not ice. The reason for that is there are a lot of thunderstorms around Jamaica, and I do not want to get into any kind of icing conditions. Although I don't know if this thing has anti-ice for the engine or for the wings. So if that happens, yeah, we might be in a little bit of trouble. Alright, let's see if we can contact the tower real quick here. Okay, we are departing to the east. Boscobel ground, Navy 040, request taxi for east departure.
Navy 040, taxi holding point, runway 9er, contact tower on 132.05, when ready.
Wow, that was awful quick. Okay. Taxiing, hold short, runway 9ers, Navy 040. And look at that, we can actually request takeoff clearance from the tower. I'm going to do that when I get to where the runway meets the apron. So we'll just move out for now. Alright, everything is still in takeoff position, so flaps are down 1 notch. And we are going this way. And this thing really does not like to turn. Okay, let's give it a little bit more juice. Alright, a little too much juice there. Okay, right here is good. Put on the parking brakes, call the tower. Boscobel Tower, Navy 040 at runway 9er, ready for departure to the east.
Navy 040, cleared for takeoff, runway 9er, east departure approved.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 9er, Navy 040. You know what's interesting? I don't see an actual tower building, unless it's supposed to be inside the blue building. Huh. I don't know about all that. Alright. But it's starting to rain, as you can see, so we're going to need to go all the way to that end. Takeoff should be a hell of a lot easier than landing was. But we do have that hill across the little bay there that we will need to watch out for. And let me just remind you, this thing has full tanks, including drop tanks. So as you can see, the fuel quantity looks like 700 pounds per side, so that's 1,400. I don't know if that's also taking into consideration the drop tanks, because of course it's going to use the drop tanks first before it gets to the fuel on board. Alright, but enough of all of that. Let's go ahead and take the brakes off, and we'll taxi into position. Holy crap, we're doing the slip and slide. That is no bueno. Wow, okay, so obvious we've got some breeze coming off of that hill to my left there. That could make takeoff a fun endeavor. Okay, let's see if we can turn around here. I need as much real estate as I can possibly get. Alright, right here should be good. I know I'm going to have to deal with that wind coming back the other way. Okay, so we'll pause here. And once again, it'll be time for brakes down, throttles up. Set my altimeter while I'm at it. Oh boy, we're going full throttle on this one. There's the end of the runway. Come on, baby. Rotate. Oh, are we going to make it past those trees? Oh my god, we did it. Alright, I'm going to swing out to the left here because I'd rather not have to contend with that hill. And we still need a whole heck of a lot of airspeed here before we can get out of here. Wow, so yeah, the wind at that hill was pretty horrendous. I'm lucky to have kept it down the center line. Sheesh. Okay, so we're going to do like a spiral climb here. And we'll take it from there. Okay. Where the hell is the airport? Oh, it's over there, okay. Alright, let's go ahead and contact the tower. Kingston Control, Navy 040 is type Raytheon T6, 4 miles northeast of Mike Kilo Bravo Sierra. Request flight following.
Navy 040, Kingston Control, Squawk 2631.
Squawk 2631, Navy 040.
Navy 040, radar contact 3 miles northeast of Mike Kilo Bravo Sierra, 2200, altimeter 2993.
Copy, Navy 040. Alright. Set our altimeter here. So there it is, folks, the infamous Ian Fleming International Airport, formerly known as Boscobel. For such a small airport, it is such a pain in the butt to try and get into. But if you think that's bad, wait till we get to Ken Jones. There's hardly a runway even there. Alright, looks like it's clearing up a little bit. Of course, I may be speaking a little too soon. But I'm going to go ahead and get us back on heading here and quickly put the autopilot back on. We are close to 3,000 feet right now. I don't think I'm going to get much higher than that. As a matter of fact, I might just level us off at about 2,500 feet. No, you know what? I think this should do the trick. So right here is good. And we'll put the autopilot on. Of course, it's going to do its adjustment thing. Okay, speed is looking good, so I'm going to pull the throttle back some. get us back in the green. Let's just confirm that is in fact the case. So we're looking for the NACWS, and we're going to turn that off. Okay, everything is in the green, and we still have full tanks. This is good. This is very good. Of course, we do have a very large cloud in my way. I'm not looking forward to that at all. Let's put it back to traffic. Oh, cloud, you just faked me out. I thought you were going to disappear. No, you did not. You just came back. Alright, well, you do your cloudy things. Yeah, we have definitely got some rain up in here today. And there we go. We're in the suit. Lovely. Well, so far it's turned out to be a lot more of an adventure than I thought. I'm thinking with Ken Jones Airport, because that runway is actually shorter than the runway back at Boscobel, we might want to do a touch and go this time around. So let me see, what does our GPS say as far as distance to said airport? Okay, so we've got 17 nautical miles to go in about 5 minutes. We are certainly within range to contact Ken Jones and tell them that we are going to be doing a touch and go. And I'm going to err on the side of caution for this one here, considering the fact that Boscobel had a lot of crosswinds on that runway. I would not be too surprised if we're going to run into the same thing at Ken Jones. So to be on the safe side, let's go ahead and call them and tell them we want to do a touch and go. Oh boy, I didn't anticipate that. There is no tower at Ken Jones Airport. So guess we're on Unicom. Alright, I'm gonna pick runway 9 because I have a sneaking suspicion the winds are all blowing the same way. It's a small enough island that it really shouldn't make a difference. And we're gonna announce a touch and go. Let's announce our position. Mike Kilo Kilo Juliet traffic, Navy 040 is 15 miles northwest, 2,800. Inbound, touch and go, left traffic, runway 9er. Alright, you know what? That's good enough for me. That's all I need to do. Let's see if we can see this airport here. I want to say that is it on the second peninsula back there. Yes, I think that is it. Luckily, there's an empty field just to the right of it, so if we run into any problems, we can use that as our divert field. We should be okay. As long as there's no cows in the pasture or anything. It does look like it is clearing up a little bit. It looks like the vast majority of weather is just to the north of the island. At least this is according to what Active Sky Next is telling me on the second monitor here. So as long as it stays that way and away from us, we should be fine to get into Kingston. I don't see anything much on the south side of the island. It looks like the south side of the island is pretty much clear. So I'm going to go with that. And as you can see, that is the Blue Mountains. Yeah, home of the world famous Blue Mountain Coffee. We're going to need to cross that to get to Kingston. So yeah, that's a whole other story right there. So as soon as we do this touch and go, I'll have to get up to probably about 6,000 or 7,000 feet to avoid the mountains on our way to Kingston. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, I'm going to go ahead and turn off our navigation hold on the autopilot. We're going to swing out to the right. We'll stay at 2,800 until just past this hill, and then we can bring it in. I'm going to try and do this textbook. Keyword here, try. See how well that works out. I do have to admit, so far I am really enjoying all the various add-ons that I've put in here to make Jamaica a bit more of a beautiful place. And especially thanks to Chris Z for the making of all these minor airports in Jamaica, because honestly, as a kid, I remember flying in and out of a lot of these airports, so I'm really glad somebody took the time to actually flesh them out in FSX. Alright, we're going to need to slow down, so I'm going to put throttle all the way to idle. We do have speed brakes, so let's go ahead and put that out. This airport should be a little bit easier to land at because there's a lot more flat space, but we do need to make it past these mountains, so let me see if I can line us up. We've got a little bit of a crosswind component here, so again, this is going to be fun. And since I don't have any procedures entered into the GPS, there's no point in my using that to keep me steady. I could use the heading hold, but why even bother when I can hand flying it? Half the fun of doing this flight simulation is hand flying stuff. It doesn't always have to be a reliance on technology, if you know what I mean. Alright, I think we've got it. Our speed is looking good. Just about 130 knots. That's a pretty good approach speed. I do want to give it a little bit more power here because I don't want us to drop below 100, otherwise we will fall out of the sky as heavy as we are with these drop tanks. And remember folks, this one is going to be a touch and go. Okay, let's do the BelGeode outside camera and see whether or not I nail or fail this landing. Do not want to stall. Do not want to stall. But that was good. That was really good. Okay, so just like before, since we're on the north coast of Jamaica, we are going to hang a left and go over the ocean. And while I'm doing that, you all can take a beautiful look at Port Antonio. Here comes the rain again, just like a Eurythmics song. It's a little 80s music reference for you kids there. Wow, look at that. Look at the Autogen. Oh my god, that just looks so freaking cool. I love it. I love it. Alright, so that was Ken Jones. And I'm going to announce on upwind. Mike Kilo Kilo Juliet traffic, Navy 040 is on upwind. And we are not landing at runway 9er. Alright, let's get out of there. We're going down. I want to go up. I want to go up. Alright, we're going to have to call Kingston Center again, so let me do that real quick. Kingston Control, Navy 040 is type Raytheon T6, 2 miles north of Mike Kilo Kilo Juliet. Request flight following.
Navy 040, Kingston, control squawk 0676.
Squawk 0676, Navy 040.
Navy 040, radar contact 2 miles northwest of Mike Kilo Kilo Juliet, 1,500, altimeter 2992.
Well, good thing we have our altitude. Copy, Navy 040. We are now strictly IFR until I get out of these damn clouds. You can see our path on the GPS here. I need to swing out to the right a little bit. It would also be nice to get out of these clouds. Let me shallow up before we stall here. Okay, so we're out of the clouds. That is a good thing. We should be overflying Ken Jones now. It's down there somewhere, right below me. We've got a stiff breeze coming in here, so I'm going to go ahead and activate the nav hold once more. And I'll keep manual control of the altitude here and see if I can bring us up to about 7,000 feet to make it over the Blue Mountains. In the meantime, enjoy the view outside. Okay, so our near disaster has been averted. The weather. And let's see, how high up are we? 5,500. I believe the peaks of the Blue Mountains are just over 6,000, between 6,000 and 700. So, like I said, if we can bring it up to 7,000, we should be safe crossing over the ridge. And then, of course, we've got to come back down because Kingston is on the other side. So yeah, this is pretty much a short hop here. Damn, does that look beautiful. So just to remind you, that is SceneryTech's North America Landclass that's creating the trees and whatnot. I think I have a Jamaica mesh that is a freeware add-on. But that just kind of gives a little bit more definition to the mountains. We might experience a little bit of stuttering as the entire city of Kingston renders on the other side of this mountain. But so far my FPS has been pretty rock solid at about 35 FPS. Which I will remind you, I do have that limited because of the fact that I use JoinFS and it prefers to have it limited at 35 in order to function properly. Alright, right here looks good, so let's go ahead and put the altitude hold on. And we'll take an outside look at Blue Mountains. So spread out ahead of us is the grand city of Kingston, the capital city of Jamaica. And I'm going to go ahead and throttle us back here to about 50% throttle. And we can start coming down and get out of this turbulence up here. So the plan of attack is this. We have two airports in Kingston that we're going to be landing at. I'm going to do a touch and go at the major airport, which is Norman Manley International Airport. And then once we take off from there, I'm going to bring us down to end our second leg at Tinseltown. And I said that Tinseltown is significant to me because when I was a little kid, that's where my dad learned how to fly aircraft. Let's get some speed brake action going here. Speed brakes are super effective on this aircraft, so I gotta be careful with this. I can't afford to drop down a little bit steeper here, so we'll bring her down to about 2,000. You can see the speed brakes are still dropping our speed. Wow, even at this steep of an angle. If you look to the right, you will see some docks, like dry docks and so on and so forth. Tinseltown is just beyond those dry docks, a little bit further inland, so it's closer to us. We're now flying over Jack's Hill and other related areas. Had an aunt and uncle that lived up here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and kill the speed brakes real quick. Okay, while we're at it, let's go ahead and call for a touch and go at Kingston. MKJP is what I want. And we want touch and go. Manly Tower, Navy 040 is 4 miles northeast with November for touch and go.
Navy 040, Manly Tower, enter left traffic, runway 12, altimeter 29901.
Left traffic, altimeter 29901. Fly left traffic, runway 12, Navy 040. Okay, so that means we need to head out this way, and then we need to rotate around and come in for our touch and go. Which is actually quite convenient, because you will look just to the right of my mirror in the cockpit there, you can see Tinseltown. They're that close to each other. It's a wonder that the traffic doesn't conflict. We are going to the left, and off to the end there you'll see Port Royal.
Navy 040, cleared, subject to outside traffic, runway 12.
You just hold your horses there, son. I don't even have my gear out. Speaking of which, I should probably take care of that. Cleared for touch and go, runway 12, Navy 040. Gear down. Flaps down 1 notch. And we're going to balloon up a little bit here. Okay, so let's keep it around 1,000 as we make our way around here. So yeah, I started to say Port Royal, the big pirate town that you probably remember from Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a real thing. Unfortunately, none of the add-ons that I have really depicted it as it exists now. It basically just looks like a wilderness directly ahead. But trust me when I tell you, there's buildings on that. Alright, I am dropping a little too much here. Let's give her full throttle again, as we are below the glide slope. Okay, there's a nice long runway here, so if I mess this up, we should be good to go. When I take off, we're going to turn to the right, by the way. Alright, back to the outside camera. Okay, now that we're down, that was the touch part, and let's begin our go part. There's a little bit of crosswind here. So yes, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Norman Manley International Airport. And I'll give you a quick look at all the beautiful Air Jamaicas while I get the gear up and the flaps up. Hey look, there's even a FedEx. Oh, that's neat. Got some full throttle here because I really don't feel like hitting the fence or the water. There we go. Okay. We do not want a full stop landing, so we'll continue heading out here. Gently swing out to the right. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Cancel landing intentions. Manly Tower, Navy 040. Cancel landing intention.
Navy 040, protect west.
Thank you. Okay, so since we're this close to Tinseltown, I will call them and tell them we need to come in. Tinseltown Tower, Navy 040, 7 miles southeast to land.
Navy 040 tower, display traffic, runway 14, altimeter 2991.
Right downwind, runway 14, Navy 040. Okay. So there's no point in my getting really, really high up, so I'm going to keep her steady around 1500. And we'll move on from there. I'm going to pull back the throttle as well, too. Alright, so there is what is considered the main airport to Jamaica, the gateway to Kingston, Jamaica, Norman Manley International. Rather beautiful airport, and honestly, one of the first airports I've ever been to in my life. Our destination, however, is way across the bay there. You will see the big, huge dry docks, and then just to the right of it, that's our airport. That's where we're landing. Luckily, they do have a tower, so we should be good. And I've got to figure my plan to get in there. Okay, there's an inlet to a river right there. We could probably turn around. In the meantime, I guess what I'll do is I'll take it over here towards Spanish Town, which used to be the capital of Jamaica before the British took over Jamaica way back in the day. So yeah, we'll use Spanish Town as our guide and all those skyscrapers there. We'll turn around there. We'll make sure that we're lined up by the time we hit that river, and then we should be clear to land at Tinseltown. And that'll be it for the second leg. So far, I have to say, I'm really enjoying myself. I know I've done a tour very similar to this in X-Plane, but I really didn't get the opportunity to do this in FSX, and especially with the aircraft that I have at my disposal in FSX, I've really been looking forward to doing this. Alright, let's get below 200 here.
Navy 040, clear to land, runway 14.
Thank you. Clear to land, runway 14, Navy 040. Alright, so that is my cue to get the gear down. We're still going a little fast here. Okay, let's make our turn. That'll slow our airspeed a little bit. And we'll get the gear down in the process. Alright, airport, where are you? You are over there somewhere. Okay, so this will be our base leg. Get off the autopilot. Okay, we are on base. There's the beautiful city of Spanish Town. Alright, start losing a little bit of altitude here, because this is another relatively short runway. Even though it's got a tower, it does not mean that this runway is going to be long enough to handle us. But we're going to do this because we are the professionals. And if we can do a landing in Boscobel, we can handle Tinseltown. Alright, let's get ready to make our turn to final. Bring her down to about 1,000. Wow, this wind is really kicking my butt. Huh. Alright, I think I got this. little sharper of a turn should do it. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, let's bring her in. And just for the guy in the back who's probably yelling at me right now, talking about, you land from a cockpit, not from outside the plane, this one's for you. Alright, let's begin our flare. A little too much flare there. And we're down. Very nice. I'm going to hit the brakes. Alright, welcome to Tinseltown, our final destination for this leg of our journey. So we'll go ahead and pull off to the right here. Flaps can come up.
Navy 040, contact ground on 129.6.
I will do just that, lady. Changing to 129.6, Navy 040. Good day. Okay, so this used to be the flying school, or at least I think it still is, so I'm thinking this would be a great place to park. Let's see, we got a hangar there. You know what? I'm going to park on this side. There's our tower. Yeah, beautiful Tinseltown. I love this airport. This was one of my favorite hangouts as a kid. Most kids like playgrounds in the 80s, early 80s, video arcades and stuff like that. Not me. I loved it whenever my dad would take me to Tinseltown. Okay, but with that being said, this will do it for the second leg of our three-part Jamaican journey. Our next leg is going to take us way across to the west side of the island where Negril is. We'll do a landing there. We have yet to determine if it will be a touch and go. And then we will head back to Montego Bay to end this little mini-series. So thank you as always for joining me, and I will see you all really, really soon for the next part.